What's up everyone, Timothy here, and this week I bring you the Wet and Wild Draft League. I can say happily that it has returned, and I am back as a Season 4 coach. I am glad Ducky and Daniel are having me back as a coach, because it is a bit of a... You can say it's a startup season. I will say it's a legacy season because only one division this season, and yeah, they are just starting back up, not going all too wild like having 3 divisions and all that. They are just here to have fun and have a great time with friends that they know will compete in their draft league and play consistently, and I am happy to say that I am one of the coaches. And as the Orange Army Ogre Pawns, we were in a pretty icky draft position. It's not bad per se. There are worse positions to have in the draft, but in terms of round 1, yeah, I was 14th, I believe, out of 16, and yeah, let me tell you, a lot of great toys are gone, because you have to know, we are playing Showdown, first of all, and Ducky and Daniel decided that the format will be with new Legends CA Megas. So, yeah, I was really looking forward to draft a amazing new Mega that I wanted to try, and wouldn't you know it, Mega Absol Z was taken. The pick before me. Thanks again, Ducky, but it's all good because my first round is Dries the Mega Raichu Y. I'm so used to say Alola Raichu, but we have Mega Raichus now, and Mega Raichu Y was looking incredible. Base 130 speed makes it pretty damn fast. There are not a lot of things that are able to outspeed it, but at 160 base special attack, we sign me up. This thing can take lives, especially if you think about the draft format. People are normally looking to draft bulky water types, and what do you know, Mega Raichu is an amazing answer for bulky water types because Step electric type moves hit incredibly hard. I have a very fast electric type, only cost me 14 points, with a budget of 115, and we had to draft at least 11 and maximum of 12 Pokemon, so that's also something to keep in mind. Also good to know, the only Grace additions or trades that I made are in the back of the draft, so I will talk about that when we get there. But for now, a Mega Raichu Y only has one weakness as well, because it's a pure electric type and only ground weakness. So my next pick was coming up pretty fastly, and I decided to pick up something to make sure Mega Raichu Y does not have to worry about any ground type moves. And it's Meep the Landorus Therian. Landorus Therian as a flying type does not have to worry about ground type moves. But on the other hand, it has an attack stat of 145 points. So that means where if Mega Raichu Y is an amazing special breaker, my Landorus Therian is for sure an amazing physical breaker. With Intimidate, so I can always lower the attack stat of something on switching in. And Landorus is an amazing piece, not just because it has an amazing attack stat. With its defensive points, it can be pretty supportive as well. With moves like Knockoff, U-Turn, Stealth Rocks, I believe it even gets defog, so Landorus Therian can also be just a full supportive set. if I decide to run a funky set, or just don't invest in attack at all, I still have a very high base attack stat. So Landorus Therian is an amazing combination for Mega Raichu to bounce off of. Both have I don't. Words are coming very. I have trouble talking at this point. Oh my god. But still, both have pivot options with Volt Switch and U-turn, so yeah, great synergy there as well. After that, I had to wait a long time to make my next move, and I decided I wanted a bulky Pokemon that can take hits, be versatile, and something to block the Ice-type moves for Landorus, of course. And the best thing that came to mind was a Steel-type, so I decided to pick up Shiv Kebab this Scizor. Scizor, of course, being a Steel-type makes it already pretty bulky, even though its stats are not all that bulky. It can take a hit, especially on the physical side. Because of its Steel typing, it has quite a lot of resistances, and as a bug and Steel type, it only has a single weakness to fire, even though it's 4 times resisted or 4 times weak. Yeah, Scizor is a great Pokemon because of a single feature, Bullet Punch Technician. Technician boosts Bullet Punch to 60 base power, coming from 130 base attack. Give it a stab boost, it goes up to 90 base power, or if my math is correct. And yeah, give this thing a choice band and things will drop. But like I said, it's great support with a slower U-turn with Defog. I believe it also gets knockoff. So yeah, I think Scizor is a great combination, and so far I've been patching weaknesses as well, or mostly. But I also needed to think, we have Terra Captains, and each Terra Captain was made either cheaper or more expensive, mainly more expensive, but some became cheaper. And we had 25 points to draft 2 Terra Captains, I believe. And, well, looking through the list of what I wanted next, I saw for just 10 points an incredible Terra Captain. Jax the Volcanion. And many people will think, Volcanion, is it good? It has 130 special attack, 110 attack, but just 70 speed. How can this thing be a good Terra Captain? Well, first of all, it's a water and a fire type, so its stab moves are already pretty impressive, because it can hurt a lot of things for at least neutral damage. Combining that with a high attack stat, it's already great. Looking at his type cover or his resistances, not all that special. But then you give it a Terra type, and you don't have to. You only have to declare your Terra type at the beginning of the battle, not when you start prepping. And this thing can get a problematic very fast. It can have Flame Charge to boost its mediocre speed at best. But also just 10 points, having a Terra Captain that can hit so damn hard. Also great for Scizor to have that fire resistance with Volcanion before Terrestrialization. Only downside is it is weak to Stealth Rocks. That's the only thing. But yeah, I was around the first to declare a Terra Captain, I think, or at least one of the firsts. And my next round, I decided to spend all my other Terra Captain points on my next Terra Captain, Paddy the Superior. And Superior is, again, looks a bit weird as a Terra Captain. I spent 13 points, so I spent 23 of my 25 Terra Captain points already So there's not going to be an other Terra Captain, and I think Superior and Volcanion are incredible Terra Captains. Superior mainly is great because of its ability Contrary. You don't know why that is great? Let me tell you. Terra Blast converts to whatever Terra type you are. And there is, since the latest DLC in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, the Terra type of Stellar. And Stellar is like a neutral Terra type for everything, I believe. But if you are at Stellar Terra, if you use Stellar Terra Blast, your attack and special attack go -1. Now, if you don't see what happens next, let me tell you, Contrary makes it so stat drops become stat boosts and stat boost becomes stat drops. So every time I use Terra Blast Stellar with Contrary Superior, Superior gets stronger instead of weaker. Yeah, combining that with 113 points in speed, this thing is regularly is normally outspeeding most other Pokemon. It can, besides doing the Contrary thingy with the Terra Blast Stellar, do a lot of other things. It can be a screen setter. It has, again, knockoff support. It can glare to paralyze opponents with 100% certainty. So yeah, I think Superior and Volcanion are a great combination for Terra Captains, and I'm happy to pick them up. But yeah, I am 5 Pokemon in, and I am already over the half of my around the half my budget, so I decided to spend big one more time, and I pick up myself as King Gambit. King Gambit is my second Steel type, but this time I have a Steel type. Yeah, I had a Steel type that resists Rock types, because was a bit of a problem at this point, so I decided to pick up a Steel type that resists Rock. Amazing attack and defensive stats, good HP stat, decent special defense. Only downside is it has a double fighting weakness, so that's a bit of a bummer, but I have a Landorus that can resist fighting type moves, and I have other Pokemons in mind at this point to resist all the fighting type moves. It has 2 amazing abilities and 1 okayish ability. Pressure is of course usable, but that's not what I want to run in most of the weeks. Of course, most of the weeks I will run Defiant or Supreme Overlord. Defiant boosting my already high attack stat with 2 stages once a stat gets lowered, and Supreme Overlord gives you a 10% damage boost for every Pokemon that has fainted in your party. So King Gambit gave me another Stealth Rocker, because I only had Stealth Rocks at this point on my Landorus, so I needed a bit more hazards to stack, and yeah, King Gambit fitted all the roles that I needed, and at this point I already had in mind that I wanted to draft some lower tier Pokemon to round out the team. So next up, there we go. We got Muck, aka Daniel K. Daniel really wanted to be this Pokemon and not one of the other Pokemon that I drafted, to my surprise, but still, Muck is... Yeah, I don't think I have to tell you much about Muck. The combination Muck and Bisharp is running wild in the SABL, and now I've got the evolved form of Bisharp. Of course, that means King Gambit cannot run a Eviolite, but combining it with Muck is amazing. Both share a ground weakness, but everything else is pretty great. Fighting is resisted by Muk. Psychic is an immunity for King Gambit, so they help each other out that way. And I already have some good ground answers with Landorus and with Superior. Muk, great specially defensive Pokemon. I didn't have much special defensive Pokemon at this point in the draft, so that's one of the reasons why I wanted Muk. Grounded Poison type is something I missed. Again, Muk gave me Toxic Spikes, which is great. And yeah, furthermore, it's great for spreading poison on my opponent. It's great for either physical or special defensive because of its stats points. And yeah, I'm really happy to have Muk on the team. And again, it's a war crime that Muk is just 4 points. Because let me tell you people, Muk is one of the best Pokemon you can draft at this point, I think. So really, if people are dumb enough to put it down to 5 or less points, always pick it up as your grounded poison type because Muk is great. Next up we have Cyclizar aka Rotom. I wanted a spinner. I had a lot of defog at this point. I have Landorus, Scizor, Volcanion and Superior all being able to blow away all the hazards, but I did not have anything to rapid spin away hazards. And there comes in Cyclizar. I also didn't have a ghost immunity. I did have a resisting King Gambit, but I always wanted ghost immunity, which Cyclizar brings. And Cyclizar is a great support Pokemon for the team that I have, I think. Unfortunately, I cannot use Shed Skin, otherwise the 10 points that it would cost would have been way higher. But it is a regenerator Pokemon that can keep itself healthy. Decent attack stats, so it always surprises me of the normal type damage it can do with Rapid Spin or Double Edge. Another U-turner, so I really have a lot of momentum on my team, which is great. And yeah, just in general a decent Pokemon to have in your squad, I think. My team lacked a fairy type, so I decided to pick up Comfey aka Melissa. Defensively, a very strong Pokemon. And this thing is basically busted because of its triage ability, giving priority of +3 to all healing moves. So Draining Kiss, Giga Drain, I believe even Leech Seed, all boosted by triage. This thing can keep itself healthy pretty well. It's another defogger, which is always great to have for removal. It can keep itself healthy, and it's a fairy type, so I have something to switch into dragon types. And with its defenses, it can take a hit, so yeah, very happy to have Comfey on the team, and let's see if I can do funny things with it. So after this point, I drafted 3 other Pokemon because my next Pokemon got... Yeah, okay, this is going to be a confusing sentence, but my next Pokemon got drafted. And I had an original plan with this Pokemon and another Pokemon. It got drafted, I had to switch. I picked up 3 other Pokemon. But then during Grace, the coach that got this next Pokemon decided to drop it, and I jumped into the opportunity and picked up unexpected route the Jellicent. And why did I want Jellicent? I didn't have Spin Block, which I always want because it's pretty strong to have Spin Block and deny your opponent. It's great to keep your hazards on the field. Let's keep it there, say it that way. Besides that, it is a great specially defensive Pokemon with 105 special defense. With Water Absorb, it can keep itself healthy by switching into water type moves. Cursed Body is great, so your opponent cannot spam certain moves if Cursed Body activates. Decent special attacker, and yeah, just another bulky water type to go along with Volcanion, because I don't always want it to fill that bulky water type role. Sometimes I want it to fill that strong offensive fire type role, which it can do, but then I lack a bulky water type and that can cost you a game, so I decided to get Jellicent as my bulky water type. And my last Pokemon is something I didn't really thought I needed. But on the other hand, Comfey doesn't hit all. Let's put it that way. Comfey needs to set up to hit hard, and besides Comfey I didn't really have much to hit dark types for super effective damage. I of course have bug type moves from Scizor, but Scizor's bug type moves, you don't always want to run a bug type move on Scizor, let's put it that way. So I decided to pick up something that can hit super effectively the dark types, and I also wanted something. Just to show you, I wanted a fighting type, so I went with Mienshao, aka Jumanji. The reason why I went with Mienshao as my fighting type: 1, it hits dark types for super effective damage. 2, great for my speed stats. 3, Regenerator Core with my Cyclizar. Both don't have all that much HP, but it is nice to swap in and out with one another and get Regenerator boosted. Both have U-turn, so they can basically keep each other healthy by switching in and out to each other. Reckless to boost moves like high jump kick, I believe, or recoil moves. Coming from a high attack stat, yeah, just amazing. So yeah, looking at the team, I am pretty happy with what I drafted. Looking at my weaknesses and my resistances, I always have at least 2 resistances to every typing, so that is amazing. Looking at my speed stat, I don't have a big gap except for the Lando to Volcanion gap, but that's something I honestly can live with. Looking offensively, I have some great physical breakers in Landorus, Therian, Scizor, and King Gambit. On the special side, I have Volcanion and Mega Raichu Y. Defensively, could be better, but still, I don't think the numbers say everything here, because even though my defenses look pretty not great, let's put it that way, I think the numbers don't reflect the defensive capabilities of this team because of Regenerator Cores, because of Muk, for example, that can also be a physical wall. Jellicent can do more physical walling. Scizor can use an Assault Vest because there are a lot of Pokemon that can use Defog, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, this is the team that at least I start the season off with. I don't really expect to make a lot of changes during the season, but still, we'll see. But for now, I thank you for watching. I hope you have a good one, and next week on the Fridays I will upload all my Wet and Wild Draft League videos, so keep an eye out on that if you want to get those on your timeline. You know where to hit the bell, because yeah, I believe YouTube will show them more often if you are subscribed to the channel. So yeah, if you want to see the videos, you can click the subscribe button. If you don't want to, you can get into the Discord for the What and Wild Draft League, and I'll drop the videos there as well, so don't you worry, you will be able to see these uploads. But again, for now, I thank you all for watching. I hope you have a good one, and I hope to see you all next week for week 1 of the Wet and Wild Draft League. Bye!